Hello everyone. So welcome to day 2 of our Hello Python series. I'm really glad to see you all here. Now in this video, we're going to learn about how to install Python onto our system. Of course, that's very important. And I want to make sure that you know different ways, okay, through which you can install it and as well as run it on your system because maybe it's working right now. Maybe you're using some, I would say on cloud, Google Colab or something, which of course I'm going to also cover. Tomorrow when you go to a company or somewhere and let's say the way they are using, you should be aware exactly that okay, what are the different ways and where the different version mismatch happen so that you are able to understand the same. Okay, so yeah, let's start with this and let us see how we can install Python properly on our system. Okay everyone, so now let us begin installing Python onto our system. Now I will be basically I'm using Mac, but overall I will be covering step for each and every system, Linux, Windows. So overall the guide should be valid for everyone. The very first is installing Python from the official website of Python. Okay, so I want to make sure that you understand this way as well. Like there are majorly two ways which we follow. So let's say we go onto our, I would say this download Python website. So how you can go onto that? You can just search download Python, Python download, and it will take you to this page. Then what you can make sure is that you are downloading it. Okay, so normally it will overall itself guess or basically just identify your operating system. In case if it face issue, you can see that there are different I would say OS written from which you can select yours and make sure that you are downloading the same. Plus version is also there, but I would suggest that let's use the latest version only. Okay, so once this is downloaded, then you're going to see that this file is there. Okay, we can open this file. And once this file is open, right, you have to just install it. Now in Windows or Linux, this can be a little different or basically, but overall the aim is that Python gets installed into our system. Now I have already done it, so not doing it again because that will cause version issues. Let me just close it. Okay. Now there are multiple ways. Okay, so there are multiple ways through which we can check the same. There are multiple ways. So let's say from the official website I've shown you already, python.org downloads. From this, we have downloaded our same. Now running Python after installing. Okay, so once it is installed onto a system, see Python by default is not installed into a system. This is a programming language and it needs those rules and exactly kind of a software, okay, on the backend to run. So that is why we are installing it. And there are multiple ways to run it, right? Because see, at the end of the day, you will be passing some commands and that is going to get run on your system. Okay, so for that, your laptop or your computer overall should have an idea that, okay, how to run these commands, right? So the code is going to remain same, but the way it's going to run, that actually depends on exactly how you're installing it. So the very first way is what we can do is let us open a terminal. Okay, so it's I think Windows also has a terminal now, or it's a PowerShell, or else CMD, and in Linux we have the terminal. Okay, so just let me zoom it in. 1 second. Yeah. So what you have to do is let me clear everything. Yeah, you have to just write Python. Okay, Python, and you will see that something like this will start. 3.11.5. okay, and as you can see, like it has started a Python. Now this, anything which you write inside this gonna get run as a Python command. So for example, if I print hello Python, which is the name of our series, you're gonna see that it's printing you this hello thing. Okay, I can write any complex code as well, just I have to understand one thing, that it's gonna run everything as soon as I press enter. Okay, so let's say if I'm writing, like you will understand all these things as well, so don't worry. If I'm writing, let's say if a greater than 5, okay, and print something, so it's giving an error here, expected an indented block on if statement. Okay, let's say I define a is equals to 5, then I can access a, b is equals to Python. So we are going to learn about everything, so don't worry on anything, and we are able to see these things. Okay, and everything is going to just run as soon as you press enter. Okay, you can exit from here. That's the first way. That's actually the first way to run it. Now next thing, as I told you, like see, you can write a code on Notepad as well. Okay, any other I would say application as well. So I'm just gonna use or create a file, hello python.py. So py is actually the format of your file. Now if you will see here, here I've already written this hello Python. Okay, so I'm using this like Vim is a I would say editor to use code on it. Now you can write, let's say print I am on second line. Now you can again print if a equal 5, then do something. You have to make sure of everything here. Okay, inside this here, but what will happen is that you press enter, the code is not going to run. You have to first make sure that you write all the code, and then you're going to get the feedback that okay, how it's going to run. So it's going to run the file completely. So that's why I'm first writing the code. Then we can just exit from here. And now what you can do is you can do Python. Okay, so Python, and you have to tell Python what file you want to run. So let's say hello Python is the file which I want to run. 1 second. Yeah, hello python.py, and it is showing an error here. So see, it printed this hello Python because it was fine line. Then I'm on second line again, it printed. Then it showed that, okay, A is not defined, because if you will remember, we have not defined A onto our this code. The problem with that is you have to run it multiple times, right? So normally what will happen is that if you make an error, let's say you have made an error somewhere in middle of your file, you will get to know that once you run the full code. Okay, so I personally believe that it is very good if you get this feedback a lot quickly, right? Whenever you are running anything, you are able to actually understand very nicely that, okay, if this is the error where you have made in the initial stages, especially. Like once we will be coding after having all the idea, then you will not make these kind of mistakes. But I personally believe that it is a lot helpful, okay, a lot helpful if you are able to make sure that, you know, all these things, all the errors and everything, you are able to get quickly. Okay, so we will do like see something for that as well. Now you can close the terminal. These are the two ways through which you can run the terminal. Now there's an ideally, okay, ideally it's actually an official, I would say, basically compiler or interpreter for Python, where what you can do is you can write the code here as well. Again, this is gonna run the same as, I would say, your this thing, your terminal. So hello Python, and it's gonna show you the answer. Okay, so exactly the same, the first one which we saw, but yeah, I think you should know that ideally also gets installed. It's a shell where you can run all the commands. Okay, everyone. So I hope these things is clear. Now this is what even I've covered in my notes as well. Terminal, file from terminal. Okay, the hello Python file which we created, .py file, and ideally the Python IDE which Python by default provides. Now, as you see, like there's a initial problem which I feel many people face because they write code directly on VS Code or somewhere, but they are very late to get, like they run their file completely and they are very late to get that feedback. So in light of the same, okay, though all can above basically run Python, we're gonna learn and run our Python initially in Jupyter Lab. Okay, so now what is this Jupyter Lab exactly? So for that, like it can be downloaded as I would say independent as well, but I would expect that basically want you to download the Anaconda. So let us see the Anaconda. What is it? So installing Anaconda. Now Anaconda for Python is like a premix, okay, like which have all the ingredients and we would require to run Python. So along with Python, lots of other libraries, a good, I would say, graphical user interface, everything gets downloaded. Okay, so we can download the Anaconda now by going on to this website. So Anaconda, you can just search on Google, Anaconda download. Okay, and that's the first website now it's going to show you. Once you go on here, you have to just provide the skip registration. Okay, so that is like where many people or students face the issue, and now you can download. Same for Mac or anything. Once you download it, okay, everything is gonna run. Once you download it, it's gonna basically install proper Python everything for you. And then what you get is, let me close this as well. You get an Anaconda navigator. Okay, so Anaconda navigator is just like basically your GUI for making sure that you can run anything which you want. And इसमें we have a Jupyter Lab which we are going to use. So Jupyter Lab is actually the same, I would say, thing which you are seeing. So let me just start Anaconda prompt. So it is starting. It's going to open in your browser. Okay, it's going to open in your browser where you can code Python properly. But I'm going to show you the benefit there as well. Okay, so let it load. Okay, adding lots of things should be fine. So I want to make sure that you see all these steps, because many times if I will just jump on them, you will not understand that perfectly, right? So make sure that you understand all these things. So we are going to start, like it can start actually other things as well. It has different editors as well, but we are going to specifically use Jupyter Lab. Okay. Earlier it was Jupyter Notebook, but Jupyter Lab now supports multiple, I would say, of your things. Now, once what you have to do is you have to click on, once you click on launch here, second. Yeah. So once you click on launch here, what it's gonna do is, let it open. It's gonna actually open a interface like this on your system. Okay, so let me create. So what you can do from here is this is like the new one, Jupyter Notebook, which is starting. Now you will not be get asked password. You can create a text file, Python file, and everything here as well. But we are gonna create a notebook. Okay, in Jupyter Lab, okay, or notebook, basically things happens by cell. So you see this one cell here. I can actually write one Python code here. Print hello Python, and it's gonna run. We can add our cells from here. So let me just show you a little bit about the full UI, so you have a better idea on this. And please make sure that you understand this. Please make sure, because this is something which you're going to use for learning, and you will see the benefit as well. So this is through which you can add a cell. Again, cut a cell, paste a cell, run your cell. Like there is a shortcut as well. Shortcut is just command or control enter. Then stop running a cell. Okay, your kernel gets started from here basically. Okay, so kernel is just in the backend basically the Python thing. So you will see Python 3 here. But yeah, overall it should be fine. If you will restart it, it's just completely you basically starting a new, I would say, Python file where nothing is basically being remembered. Okay, so I will repeat, we can add a cell, we can delete a cell, cut a cell, copy a cell. But the major thing which you have to understand is that any code which you write, you can run it by cell. So the benefit it gives me is that I can now choose how long or how small I want my code to be. For example, let's say here I am just writing print, okay, hello Python again, okay, name of our series. Now you can write something like this, a is equals to 5 if a less than 10, and it happens other things as well. So when I will press enter, this indentation is something which we are going to learn as well. You can just print I am here. Now let's say if you just want to code this much only, okay, what you can do is you can run this cell just, and you're going to see the output. Okay, and you can have multiples of these cells. Now the benefit, as you can see, is very quick feedback. Like if any error I'm making, it will be quickly visible to me. So let's say, for example, if b greater than 5, I made this thing and I run this. It is giving incomplete output. If I write this, okay, then it is basically running and it give me the error quickly. Name b is not defined. So instead of writing the full code and then seeing the error, okay, in the initial learning phase, believe me, this is the best, I would say, way through which you can learn the same. Plus, if you want to make your career in AI, data science, machine learning, this is actually what is getting used. Like Anaconda as a whole was actually created so that it is used in data science and machine learning use cases majorly. Okay, everyone. So I hope this thing is clear. Now let us go back onto our notes once. Anaconda for Python. Okay, it's like a PMix. We can install the same. Now this is just, let me clear everything on the screen once. Now this is just all I would say the thing. So you have a file browser here. Okay, so just like let's say you get a file browser here where you can run everything. Then again, basically we can run the cells. Okay, we can run a single line or highlighted text as well. But again, for the time being, I think just you have to understand that you can write code here and then you can run it using this or command enter, nothing else like control or command enter. We will see once we understand and go forward. As of now, this will more than happy in 99% use cases, this will complete. Okay, so this is what basically we are able to do. Now we can open multiple things as well. So the format you see just, it is something like that. So I can have two files here, but though we will keep it single only. Okay, we don't basically want to make a lot complex. So we are going to keep it single only. Okay, so you can discard this and you are going to see this full file. And this is where we are going to learn our coding. Okay, when it is required to be, let's say maybe make proper projects or something, then I will show you properly how you can shift to any other editor as well. But the code is going to remain the same. So this is all about basically Jupyter Lab and Anaconda, which we are going to use. Now, what we are going to do is there, if your computer is slow, if your computer is normally, let's say slow, or normally, let's say if you are on some computer where Anaconda is not getting installed or you are facing problem, what Google Colab is, like it is majorly, I would say, a Jupyter Lab on the overall your cloud. Okay, so let us see this quickly. Meanwhile, it opens. If your laptop or PC is very slow, you can also run the code using Google Colab. Okay, in simple terms, think of it as Jupyter Lab on cloud provided by Google. So Google basically is providing that, and the reason is again the same because I would say data science ML use cases, overall Python is getting used a lot. So for that reason, Google also provided these things where it is giving you a RAM, it is giving you a hard drive, and all the normal libraries will be installed. So you don't have to do anything and everything will be fine. Okay. So on that note, okay, in simple terms, think of it as a Jupyter notebook on the cloud provided by Google, and everything else is same. So if you will see, this is a lot similar kind of a thing, right? You can add these code cells. Okay. Then you can write code here. Of course, let's say print hello Python. Okay. So it's going to run like it's going to just connect to, I would say, resources so that it can get the RAM and I would say hard disk, and even it can run the same. Okay. Now just one more thing which I want you to have is, so it run properly, there is a text column as well. So if you see, you can write a text basically which is in the form of whatever, however you want to write. Okay, so let's say welcome everyone on the Hello Python series, which is going to be the best series where I'm teaching everything from scratch. So please make sure that you like and share this video, and share, like, also subscribe to my channel and share this with every friend who is trying to get into coding or Python. Okay, I can assure you that it's going to be the best way you can learn Python because I've covered everything in a lot of detail. Now you can write these things here properly. Okay, so you don't have to worry on anything. This basically is a markdown format. So the same thing you can write here as well. If you will see here, let's say if I'm creating multiple of these cells, I can change the overall type of my cell as markdown. So now it's not a code. And that is the next big benefit of Google, this Jupyter Lab or these notebooks, that you can create in between, you can create this theory or something which is going to be a lot helpful to you. And throughout the course, I'm going to share lots of these notes with you, which are going to help you in fabulously in basically making sure that everything is clear. I can maybe show you one of them. Okay, I can show you one of them. Let's say if you go here, then let's say, yeah. So if you will see, this is from the next class. This is what you're going to get, right? So everything is basically properly explained. So that is the next benefit. Now, Markdown is just, I would say, like HTML. It is basically a format very similar to HTML actually, but you can see the net on the same. So let's say if I write like this, hello Python, it is actually a markdown file. Now while I'm going to run it, it's going to get rendered as a markdown. So you're going to see it as a heading. Okay, so you can see this markdown guide properly. Okay, where everything will be explained, that exactly how I would say different things are basically being read in markdown. Okay, so syntax basically you can understand, but overall the understanding is that, yeah, here because of this thing you can see that, okay, how good these notes are, right? How overall good these notes are, which will help you to quickly revise, as well as when you are doing something you can also add them and they will be shown properly as a heading and everything. Okay, so these are the different ways, everyone. I will just repeat them. You can just install the Python. Okay, second. Yes, so these are different ways, everyone. So first one was how we installed the Python. Okay, just the Python, nothing else. We can run it either by terminal, either or by, I would say, using the ideally or by a direct file. But I think you understand what are the different shortcomings which have, okay, while learning especially. The next is Anaconda, which I highly suggest you run it, basically download the same, from which you can run Jupyter Lab, and where we are going to run our code in cells. Now it's going to become a lot more easy and comfortable once you continue on this course. I made sure that at every point I'm explaining each and everything. If your computer is slow, then you can also switch to Google Colab, which is also exactly the same thing. And they are used a lot in, I would say, ML and AI use cases. Plus, honestly, what I have seen from my experience, because I have been working in Python, I would say from last 8 to 10 years. If you're able to understand coding from one end, writing code on different platform or different thing is not an issue. And believe me, this is the best. I have worked as a software developer as well, and I still go to Google, Jupyter Lab and then run my code to see that, okay, what will be the output, and I can work on it incrementally instead of writing the full code. Okay, so yeah, that was all, everyone. Please make sure that you are able to install this and run this. Okay, because in the next classes, of course, we are going to use it. In case your PC is slow, Google Colab is your friend. You don't have to worry. I will, of course, be providing you lots of these notebooks, which you can open at your end and revise everything. Plus all the code which you're going to write in the class, you're going to get them from me. Okay, so cool, everyone. Thanks a lot for your time. Please make sure that you are able to understand this. Now, we will meet tomorrow now. And please make sure that you like this video and share this video with your friends. Okay, and subscribe to my channel, and also hit that bell icon, because along with Hello Python, I'm making sure that I'm able to give you more content, which will be a lot helpful and useful to you. Okay, cool. Well, everyone, thank you. Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you.